It was the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum's mystery mural, until a teenage detective solved its 50-year. Los Angeles. For decades, the curving mural depicting a golden sun has greeted visitors to the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Faded by the elements, its once vibrant blue lost some luster over the years. The gold leaf paint, no one seemed to know who had painted the scene adorning the Coliseum's main archway or when. Guides referred to it, but after taking a tour of the historic stadium a few years ago, one local teenager became engrossed with its history. Dean Gordon estimates he's been to the Coliseum more than 100 times. But before that day, solving its mystery soon became his mission. 2 summers ago, at age 17, Gordon began his quest, pouring through library books and searching archives, hoping to find a clue that would lead him to the artist. After a series of dead ends, Gordon found a clue in the form of a Los Angeles Central Library note card that read H. Further online digging produced nothing new until he came across a single tweet. Please. The plea, posted in 2016, was from Mary Lou Rosian in response to the Coliseum's announcement that parts of the stadium were being overhauled. The mural would be. Years before, during a broadcast of a Trojans football game, the camera had panned under the Coliseum's archway and focused on the mural. Watching from his home in upstate New York, Rosian's husband, Igor, was flooded with emotion. He and his father, Heinz Rosian, had worked on the mural together. The Los Angeles Coliseum Commission tasked the elder Rosian with the job in 1969, in hopes of helping the city win a bid for the 1976 Olympics. Heinz Rosian, the archway of the Coliseum, proved to be a precarious canvas. The underside of the curved portico stood more than 70 feet off the ground. To reach it, people. A teenager at the time, Igor spent the summer, fall, and winter of 1969 working on the mural with his father. At the end of their work, not long after the mural was completed, Rosian entered USC as a student. On occasion, LA didn't end up winning the Olympics bid in the 70s. But a few years later, By then, Rosian had moved across the country. His father died. The origins of the mural were all but lost until Gordon started his detective work. The team tracked Rosian shortly after spotting his wife's tweet, shocked to learn that someone directly connected with the artwork was still alive. Not that there was a wealth of material for him to work with. A search through in reference to a photo published 2 years before the 1984 Olympics, Heinz Rosian identified himself as the creator. The end of Gordon's search 2 years ago led to a series of hours-long discussions about the mural and the start of a friendship between the younger Rosian and the student detective. Thankfully, when it came time this spring to restore the mural, Gordon's discovery and resulting report on the mural proved helpful. Over the course of their work, which was recently completed, the artists reached out to Rosian, asking about the paints and techniques his father had used. A photo of the scene. Annetta Zabala, Suzanne Morris, and Adam Romsio have been in the conservation business for decades, restoring artwork at Griffith Observatory and the Wilshire Temple, under bridges, and in libraries around Los Angeles. But the Coliseum's mural has been one of their most challenging projects, they said. It had been damaged by water and, after decades of being battered by the elements, including the wind that races through the archway, the design had nearly disappeared. The lack of historic work. Before the mural's restoration got underway, Gordon and Rosian met outside the Coliseum. There, and on a sunny day in June, Nick Rosian, Igor's son and Heinz's grandson, was in town to visit his uncle Mick. Because the youngest, the scaffolding had just come down from the archway. The tarps were clear. 50 years after it was painted, the vibrant blue and gold had returned. And on either side of, visit the Los Angeles Times @
Raindrops, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that.